Okay, today's lesson was about numbers in exponential form raised to a power. So yesterday we talked about the rules where if we have the same base times an exponent with the same base, what we end up doing is we end up adding the exponents. And with dividing, as long as they have the same base, we can subtract the exponents. Now, we can also might have need to have something that looks like this. X to the m power raised to the n power. This is another rule of exponents that we will follow. So let's look at an example. Let's do 8 to the third raised to the fourth power. So I have 8 to the third raised to the fourth power. What I can do is I'm going to write 8 times 8 times 8. 8 to the third means 8 times 8 times 8. And that is raised to the fourth power. So expanding that further, we'll have 8 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 times 8. I ran out of room, so we'll put it over here. So I have that group multiplied together 4 times. And as long as we're multiplying and there's multiplication all the way across the board, since the multiplication is commutative, we can drop those parentheses and just write a string of 8s. So what we end up having is 12 8s. Or we end up having 8 to the 3 4 times. So we get 8 to the third times 4. So that ends up being 8 to the 12th. So in general, when you have a exponent raised to a power again, you can multiply those exponents. So let's do another example. Okay, for example, let's do a bigger string. So that you've seen what it looks like when we do 1, but how about if we had something like this? We also know that we can distribute, from today's lesson, we know that we can distribute that power inward. So we can rewrite this as 12 squared to the third power times 15 cubed to the third power times 67 to the fifth to the third power. So what you'll end up with is 12 to the 2 times 3 times 15 to the 3 times 3 times 67 to the 5 times 3. And although this isn't particularly helpful in this case because it's numbers and we could just punch this into a calculator, when we have algebra, this will be much more helpful. So let's calculate it all out. 12 to the 6th times 15 to the 9th times 67 to the 15. And let's try an algebra example. So we have some algebra, we'll put in some letters. X cubed, y to the 7th, z. And that's all going to be raised to the 9th power. So we can rewrite this as x to the 3rd raised to the 9th times y to the 7th raised to the 9th times z to the 1st. I'll write it in there, but you don't necessarily need it. To the 9th power. So now we can multiply, go through and do the multiplication. 3 times 9 is 27. 7 times 9 is 63. And then 1 times 9 is 9. So you end up with a simplified version. X to the 27th times y to the 63rd times z to the 9th.